This is Hank Kopler with ExtraPointFootball.com with the last Try This video of the season, preparing for the Super Bowl. We're going to look at the biggest aspect of the game, which is quarterbacks these days. Both the Steelers and the Packers have a very good mobile quarterback who can also threaten the defense with his arm. So this type of dual threat quarterback, you have to devise a lot of stuff to contain him, but it's risky. First, we're going to look at how the Packers can try and force Ben Roethlisberger into making a bad play on a must-pass down. What we have here is definitely a risky play, but again, with the type of player you're going to send to play like that, you can't afford to not take risks because otherwise they'll just sit back and pick you apart by running around and buying time. Now, what we do is the defensive end rushes, but with contained principles. He does not let the quarterback get outside if the quarterback scrambles, because what this play tries to do is rush Roethlisberger from his right side to force him to run left. Because then when he's running, he has to turn his body and set his feet to throw, and cannot throw on the run anywhere near as accurately. So while a traditional quarterback like Peyton Manning, you would rush from the blind side, here you don't do that. Here we're sending Charles Woodson on a blitz, as defensive coordinator Don Capers loves to do, sending the right outside linebacker. You're sending one of your inside linebackers on a stunt over the right guard, overloading the right side of the line. This will prevent the back from leaving the backfield and getting open, because he's going to have to stay and pick up one of these guys. On the other side, you've got your linebacker matched up against their tight end, who caused a lot of mismatch problems. And then you've got man coverage on the receiver. So Roethlisberger is going to be forced to run left. He's going to see man coverage in front of him with this cover 2 shell at the same time. So that's already going to be a little bit confusing for him to figure out who's going to be where. And then on the other side of the field, you've got zone coverage. So here he is. All he can see in front of him is this man coverage, and then what looks like should be a cover 2 man. So he looks apart, and chances are he'll see one of his guys looking like they're about to get open in the man coverage, let it go, but he'll actually be throwing into the zone. Now, this is vulnerable if the receiver runs a drag route or any other route that takes him across the field. Then he'll be completely unguarded and get open. But again, that is where the aspect of getting to Roethlisberger, rushing him, and execution comes in. So while there's a major risk to it, the Steelers can be definitely harassed with this play if it's used sparingly, and if the Packers decide to attack Roethlisberger in this way. The Steelers are going to do some of the same things the Packers are going to do in this play with the zone blitzes, the man coverage, but it's going to look a little different because the Packers are likely going to go to their 5-wide set, because that's been a staple of their offense since Jermichael Finley, their dynamic tight end, went down with a season-ending injury. So that makes it hard to blitz because the field is spread. So the Steelers are going to have to be very careful with their blitzes, and when they do blitz, they're going to have to take calculated risks. So in a must-pass situation, it's not uncommon to see Aaron Rodgers in the shotgun in this 5-wide set similar to this. What we have here is the cornerback, and this is a 3-3-5 nickel setup. The cornerback plays the flat. Both linebackers go over towards what would be their left, but the quarterback's right. Your farthest out linebacker covers the middle. Your middle linebacker covers the outside right-hand side of the field. Troy Polamalu, arguably the best player in football when he's healthy, is going to come down on a blitz, and he's just going to give Rodgers a headache. The defensive end is going to take on the right tackle. The linebacker is going to stunt inside, take on the right guard. Nose tackle is matched up on the center. Nobody's going to worry about the left guard for now, just because they're going to let the pressure be an overload blitz coming from the right side. This defensive end is going to rush, but he's going to play with contained principles. He's not going to try and get inside, he's trying to get outside and loop around. to make sure that Rodgers cannot just scramble and run for a first down. On this side, you're going to have the receivers locked down in man coverage, and again, when Rodgers rolls right, he is going to see the man coverage, look over, and he's going to hopefully throw it into zone coverage if he doesn't recognize it. This safety up here is going to play just the center field. If anyone gets deep, that means he's going to have time to get to the ball when it's released. So he plays the deep middle section of the field, helps out over the top if anybody gets past their coverage. So now, this is vulnerable on a flag route from one of these receivers, and a crossing route if the receiver goes all the way across the field, any type of drag like that, that's where it is weak. But with all this pressure coming at Rodgers, the hope is that the defense can execute and either get to him and bring him down, force him to tuck and try and run for only a couple yards on a must-pass play like this, or force him into making a bad throw into this coverage, get intercepted, and make one of those game-changing plays. So that's where Troy Polamalu, even when not in coverage, can be used as a major game changer and could tip the scales in Pittsburgh's favor if a situation like this arises. That's all for this week, and in fact, this season. We'll be back next season with Try This on ExtraPointFootball.com. Thank you for watching. We're looking forward to seeing you next season when Try This starts back up in week 1. Visit us on ExtraPointFootball.com for all the latest news on the draft, labor agreement, free agency, all that news. Best source for analysis of what's going on in the NFL and in college football. Appreciate you visiting the site, watching this video, all that. Thank you very much. See you next season. I'll Try This at ExtraPointFootball.com. I'm Hank Copeland.